When people ask what's special about the town where I am from, it often leaves me stumped at what to say. It's hard to sum up without sounding like I'm poking fun, because the fact I haven't left suggests living here must be okay. The transport links are decent, there is countryside nearby, the amenities are surprisingly varied. Crime rates are average, and the schools are not the worst, but it's not a place you'll find on tourist itineraries. There's a decent music venue and some decent restaurants. There are places you can go on a night out. But if I'm really honest, the first thing that springs to mind, the one notable feature that all the locals shout about. We've got a river, it's very nice. We've got a river, it's very nice. You can get a pint for a reasonable price. And we've got a river, it is very nice. What ho, folks, Thomas Benjamin Wilde Esquire here again, back with the third of my Song a Week series that I'm going to be carrying on until I've run out of ideas, basically. So that was a song inspired by my hometown, Bedford, here in the UK. Now, the reason that actually the thing that inspired it came from something that happened about kind of 10 years ago or so. We were at a stand-up comedy gig by a stand-up comedian who's fairly famous over here in the UK, Frankie Boyle, and one of the things he asked the audience was, so what's Bedford known for then? And there was an awkward silence, and somebody shouted out, "We've got a river." And everybody in the audience started laughing, nodding their heads, because that was the kind of thing the only thing that anybody could really think of. Obviously, there's more to Bedford than that, but that did tickle me for quite a while. And last week we were walking the dog along the river, and it just came back to me, and I thought that would be an interesting subject for a song. But yeah, I don't want to poke fun at Bedford because I do like it here. We are famous for other things other than that, but not a huge amount else. We've got kind of quite a few celebrities that come from Bedford. It's the hometown of John Oliver, for those of you in the States. But the thing is, when you say John Oliver over in the UK, people either know or they don't. We've also got various music artists that are from here. Tom Grennan, for those Gen Z people out there. But again, older generations don't know who that is. Who else have we got? Don Broco, off from Bedford, who are big on the metal scene, or kind of rock and metal scene. But obviously, if you're not on that scene, you wouldn't know them. And just a street across from us, actually, Ronnie Barker of the Two Ronnies was actually born. I don't think he lived here for long, but he was born the street across from us, which is a claim to fame, I guess. But Bedford's nice. It's one of those typical UK towns. It's very difficult to pin down. John Oliver's description of it actually was quite good when questioned about it. He described it as a nice little town, but if it's backed into a corner, would chew your face off. And actually, that's a pretty good summary of it, actually. But yes, there's various other things here, but the river's our main feature. We have a big river festival every 2 years, which is one of the UK's biggest free festivals. And it celebrates the river, although we don't ever go to it anymore because it's big crowds and lots of people around. We try and avoid it, but I'm glad that it's there. So that's the influence behind this week's song. If any of you have actually been to Bedford, let me know in the comments and tell me what you did here other than visiting friends and family. It'd be interesting to see what people do on a visit here, and for people who aren't from here. So that's Bedford. I'm going to try and keep this video a little bit shorter than the last one because that ended up running to about 17 minutes. I don't think people want to hear me chatting for as long as that. But obviously, if you just want to watch the songs on these videos, that's absolutely fine as well. So I played that on my Flight Soprano Ukulele. Information about that can be found in the description below. So not a huge number of questions to ask from the comments from last week, but one of the questions that was asked, or kind of one of the inquiries that was made, was about this image in the background here that I have up behind me. I'm just going to pop my uke down for a second on my lap. So this picture, Flash Robbie asked, is that a picture of you? And yes, it is, Flash Robbie. You can probably see it here. It's a bit reflective because it is kind of tintype photography. So it's kind of that old-fashioned photography. We have to sit for a while to have the image exposed. And it was done by a great chap named Greg McNeil from this company, Darkbox Images. Now, he does it at events across the UK. Most notably, he's at a lot of steampunk events here in the UK. So if you're interested in seeing more of his work, I'm going to pop a link underneath the video as well so that you can see that and you can get more information about that. Not entirely sure about the exact process that happens, but there's chemicals involved. And the video I'm going to show you now actually shows the moment where the picture gets revealed as well, because we did take some video of that. This was back in 2019. Now, dark box images are great. They go around with a TARDIS, and I think he uses that as a dark room or kind of for doing various things in. But really interesting chap. So if you're ever at any steampunk vintage events in the UK, do try and check him out. Lovely man, lovely man. So the subjects for the videos that I am doing within this series, I'm coming up with those subjects myself, obviously, but I'm also taking suggestions for subjects from my Patreon community. Now, if you want to sign up to Patreon, that'd be absolutely wonderful. You can sign up for as little as about £3 a month. And with that, you get various exclusive things. You'll get to see my cover versions. Also, exclusives of new songs that I've written. I'm currently working on a new album at the moment. And most of the songs I have shared now in demo form on there. So if you want to delve into that, subscribe to my Patreon. You can find the link in the description below. Anyway, I think that's about it from me for this week. Obviously, next week I'll be doing another song. I'm hoping that next week Tom Carradine will be joining me on a song, because we're doing a show together this weekend, a private show. And we're driving over to the Wye Valley, which is a good kind of 3-hour journey. And we discussed the possibility of perhaps writing a song together on our way. So potentially next week's video might include Tom, but I don't want to promise anything. We'll see how it goes. But just to remind you about the shows that I've got coming up as well. On the 13th of April, I'll be in York at the Fulford Arms with my band, the Fancy Chaps and Madam Misfit. On the 26th of April, I will be in London at the Water Rats with Tom Carradine, Mr. B the Gentleman Rhymer, and Gertrude the Chaz and Dave tribute act. And then on the 3rd of May, I'm going to be in Leicester at Firebug, again with the Fancy Chaps and Madam Misfit. So any of those 3 shows, it'd be lovely to see you out. Obviously, I've got more coming in the future as well, but you know, they're further on down the line. I'll talk about those more in future videos. But yeah, hopefully see you again next week. Stay safe, and until next time, toodle pip.